What is going on, Notre Dame fans? As we record this live on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel, it's 8 p.m. Eastern time on November 19th. And literally before I hit go live, Tim was yapping. We were arguing. It's going to be a great night, a great show. College football playoff committee announced their rankings about 45 minutes before we went live. So we're going to talk about that to start the show. But of course, if you are watching back on YouTube, please smash that thumbs up on the video. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. It's free. We'll always be free. Just make sure you subscribe. So when you're scrolling YouTube, you'll see more of our stuff. So we'd love to have you a part of our Blue and Gold YouTube community. Folks are talking about your haircut, Tim. You look good. I like your row back.
Yeah, you know what? Speaking of that, that's the sponsor we got to get, Mike. A nice barber, right? That's what we need to start reaching out to.
Are we going to get like a national chain? Like you want Great Clips to sponsor us, Tim?
That's who I got a haircut at yesterday. Let's go.
Are you serious? You got that at Great Clips?
Yeah, I did.
I got to the side.
I got the receipt, man. Let's go. You know, looking sharp. Great Clips. We got Pop-Tarts, Taco Bell, Great Clips, and let's go.
If Taco Bell ever I've been saying this for years. If Taco Bell ever sponsors one of my shows, or whatever, I will just, I don't know. I will lose my mind.
Chicken soft tacos every night, Mike. Here we go.
I've tried to reach out, see if there's a Notre Dame guy, and there's a Notre Dame high up, and I just haven't been able to connect there. So if you know the Taco Bell high up guy who went to Notre Dame, have him hit me up. Anyways, Tim, let's talk about the new college football playoff rankings.
Yeah,
we'll go from 1 to 15. Oregon's at the top, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5. Your Notre Dame Fighting Irish are number 6, followed by Bama 7, Miami 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, Tennessee 11, Boise 12, SMU 13, BYU 14, interesting, A&M 15. So much to discuss. And the big difference, looking from last week, Tennessee dropped from 7 to 11, and then BYU dropped from 6 to 14. I'll talk about why the BYU drop is significant. So Notre Dame moves up 2 spots. And then when you look at the college football playoffs that started today, Notre Dame in the 8-9 game, and they would host Alabama. Now, someone in the chat was asking, if Notre Dame moved up 2 spots, why did they only move up 1 spot in the CFP bracket? It just has to do with the seeding and how it works with Miami and Boise would be getting first round buys. That's really just it. So Tim, what's your reaction to all this?
Oh, I mean, it's just another great week for Notre Dame, right? What were they when this whole thing started? Was it 10? Has it just been move up one every week, right? I think it was Penn State 7-10. Maybe it was Penn State last week 8-9. I can't remember, but every week, just keep moving up, man, one by one. So I've said forever, I love it. I think they're 8. I think they're going to stay here. We could debate this. Fans will probably hate it or whatever. I don't think they're going to move up anymore. That's just my honest opinion. I think, which I'm okay with, because I want that 8-9 game, and I want to play Oregon, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl in the next round. So that's what I've been shooting for. But no, I mean, it's exciting. There's still, obviously, we can sit here. We're gonna so much damn football still to be played. You know, especially in the Big 12. Arizona State still alive. Colorado still alive. You know, the monster game this week in Columbus, Ohio. So is going to be outstanding. SEC. The monster games, obviously the Iron Bowl coming up, but you got Texas and Texas A&M to close the season out in prime time. I just saw that thing this morning where they're going to play at night, which not a shock for anybody. So, no, I mean, it's exciting. I like seeing ASU, who's been red hot, getting in there. You know, I hate it. I mean, Jack Sobel's going to be mad at me. I don't know how Missouri keeps being ranked. I just don't get it. There must be 3 Missouri Tiger alums on this committee because they're constantly in this damn thing. Obviously, Louisville losing last week is one of the greatest kicks in the pants of all time. How the hell is Jeff? Is Jeff Brom one of the idiots alive for his decision making at the end of that game? Just stupid. And then Penn State goes from no wins. They got Illinois now at number 25, so they're in there. You say you want Bama? Yeah, okay. We'll worry about that down the road. All right.
Yeah,
we'll that down the road. They got a pretty good wide receiver and a quarterback who's faster than hell. But that's way down the road. Let's win these next 2. But no, it's exciting to see where it is. I think so much of this is going to play itself out. I think with the Big Ten, obviously with the title game coming up, locking in a 5 seed. But the SEC is where the fun is. Shocking, right? The SEC and TV and all the conspiracy theories to keep those guys alive.
So much to discuss. 4 of the top 5 Big Ten schools.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's like, man, the top of the ranking, it's just it's SEC, Big Ten, and then Notre Dame, Miami. It's like, there you go.
Yeah.
Tim, so these are just my initial reactions when I saw this. Where Ohio State is at the 5, that is exactly why Jack Swarbrick orchestrated, right?
Yes.
The whole, you can't get a first-round bye for Notre Dame. This is why. You're playing the 5-12. If this were it today, right? This what the CFP bracket is right now, if the games were happening tomorrow. Ohio State would play BYU and then Boise State.
Dude, seriously, just stamp them in. Just stamp them into the damn semifinal. It's the same with Oregon. I've been saying for a while, Mike, the loser of the Big Ten title game is getting the 5th seed. So it's going to be Oregon at 5 or Ohio State. They're not going to drop Ohio State with 2 losses. That's my opinion. I don't think they're going to get penalized for losing twice to the number 1 team in the country. So I think they're going to keep them there because of what you just said. 2 nice little wins to get a Big Ten team into the semifinals.
Yeah. I had another thought. Oh, by the way, the very first playoff ranking, here it is. Notre Dame was in the 10.
Yeah, West
so they moved from 10 to
9 or
something like that.
10, 8, and then moved up 2 this week, I believe.
Yeah.
It was 2, 8, and 6. Because they were in the
So they were in the 8 last week, and now they're up to 6. So they moved up 2 spots, but then they went from 10 to 8 in the actual bracket. Like this thing, it can be complicated because there's the bracket and then there's the actual ranking, so Notre Dame's
all that matters.
The bracket
is all that matters.
But you can only get the bracket based on the rankings. There's a little yin and yang there, but so this Notre Dame Bama thing. So I'm glad we have also what I was yelling at Jay Carr in the chat. I'm sure he's here. I was yelling at him. Was it last week or maybe it was the Sunday show with Goolsby, because he was like, oh, it's just clickbait. It's just clickbait anytime someone does a projected. It's like, no, it's not. Because what it is, Tim, is it's people predicting the future. So this is nice, but we know Notre Dame's not going to play Alabama in the 8-9.
They're not.
There's zero chance in hell they're going to play Alabama in the 8-9. No chance. Zero chance. So what we're going to do in a bit is look at Andy Staples' bracketology and then Bud Elliott's, which is I don't know about Elliott, but I have some problems with his bracket. It's nuts to me. And I'm very much, Tim, the guy who's like, oh, I respect people's opinions. Everyone does a good job, hard work, all the things. Don't know Bud, but my God, I'm going to have some issues with that. We'll talk about it. So Bama.
Just real quick on that. Mark with glasses says, bring back the BCS. With Mark, there is a Twitter account. You could just find it, BCS Twitter or whatever. It's out there. There's a guy that does the rankings every single week like it's the old BCS. And so far, through the first 2 weeks, every single spot 1 through 15's, I think, been the same but 1. So it's pretty much these guys in the committees are literally, it's like the old BCS computers, and they're just throwing out these things. So that's a good point.
John said $5 super chat. Thanks, John. He said, what SOS metric is used? ESPN showed BYU 8th, but on Sports Reference they're 70th. I don't trust any ESPN models or percentage.
What do you mean? Strength of schedule? Strength of schedule. I have all the top teams right here. I made my little Timmy Hyde little metrics here. So I got nothing to do sometimes at lunch. BYU strength of schedule. ESPN strength of schedule. Maybe that's strength of record. Strength of record. They're 8. Strength of schedule. BYU's 53rd. And if you go by the Sagarin computer, which is the old BCS computer, they're 31st. So that gives you a little breakdown on their strength of schedules.
John, appreciate the 5. So I want to address this. Mad says Notre Dame moves to the 7th seed if Indiana loses this weekend. Tim and I were in agreement on this. Tim's been saying this since I was born in 93. I was born in 93. Tim's been saying this. Notre Dame's going to stick in the 8. I agree with him. They could move to 7, but I think, man, one of these SEC teams are going to jump them. Could be Bama, could be Georgia. So maybe Notre Dame moves up a spot, but I just think that they're going to get jumped in the rankings by one of these teams that are like the at-larges, right? So Notre Dame's obviously one of the at-larges. It can kind of get confusing when in Notre Dame's 6, but they're seeded 8. But I think they're going to get jumped, and I think they're going to end up in the 8. So they could move to the 7 after Indiana loses, but then someone else could jump them by the end of this. They're gonna host if they win out. That's what's really important here.
Yes, I agree with that. Now, hold on, I'm writing this. John Massey asked this last time. I'm just writing this down. Give me 5 seconds. The simple rating system. I actually looked it up, so it's pretty interesting. So thanks for that, John. I'm gonna look that up again. It's just an analytics. There's so many fun ones. To your point, Mike, this is. Yeah, for this week, we could say it's 8-9. There'll be 15 articles written about it. Just throw them all away because, as you said, it ain't going to happen 8-9. Because there's going to be an SEC championship game. And as of right now, if all things, how everything's going on, the SEC tiebreaker is, because there's going to be all these teams with 2 losses. So the SEC tiebreaker is going to be your strength of schedule and the conference opponents. And Alabama is going to have the biggest one when it's Georgia, Tennessee, Ole Miss all lumped together. That's why the Texas versus A&M winner automatically is going. And then you jump those guys in. Texas or A&M will have 3 losses, but 2 in the SEC. So they'll be lumped in. But bottom line, I think it's going to be Texas versus Alabama. I think Texas is going to win the game. Yeah, that's my prediction. I think they're a better football team. Meaning, this is my take. Alabama, I think, is going to win the championship. Alabama will end up being the 2 seed. Number 1 is going to be the Big Ten. Number 2 will be Alabama. Texas is not dropping out of this thing. And we could dive into this, Mike. I think if Texas is 11-1 and loses the conference championship game, they're going to get a home game. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah.
And that's where I think they jump. They go to 7. Someone's talking about Indiana. Indiana is obviously going to be out. I don't think Notre Dame just automatically moves up. I mean, I've seen people on Twitter, we still have a shot at 5. No chance in hell at 5. 0. There's no way in hell they could get a 5. So that's why I think.
Do you think Indiana loses to Ohio State, they're done?
Yes, because now you're going to have, once again, the whiteboard. Indiana is going to be on the whiteboard with all those 2-loss SEC schools. So Indiana, which 106, by the way. Hold on, give me 5 seconds here. Indiana, ESPN, strength of schedule, 106. So that strength of schedule, sure, it's going to go up against Ohio State. Guess what? They're going to play 1-10.
What if it's like a barn burner instant classic?
No, I hear you. If it's like 37-34 in Columbus, it's a hell of a football game.
On the road.
But once again, it's still a loss. They're going to go up against Tennessee and those guys. So I don't, that would be interesting. I mean, that would be interesting because you're still looking at this, right? At the end of the day, over a 12-game schedule, you should be looking at this over a 12-game schedule. And I mean, Indiana's best win is UCLA. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I mean, Washington. Michigan. Michigan is going to
probably the loss against Ohio State is Penn State's best win.
Exactly. Well, that's like Penn State. Penn State's best win this year is a loss to Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what I. That's
I hear you. It's going to end up being both of those guys. So, Indiana could still be in Indiana loses, their only shot is being the 11 seed, which now goes to the committee, right? Does the committee want 4 and 4 out of the two bigs, or they want 5 and 3?
Dude,
So
this
that's going to be a
is
battle.
difficult.
Yes.
And okay, real quick, I have two things I want to say. So Beeston had said, why would Bama or another SEC team jump us? The precedent has already been set that the committee respects one loss over the okay. It's a good point, right? Because I've been talking about this storyline for weeks. So, like, how does the committee view one loss Notre Dame against 2-loss SEC? And right now, above Bama, above Ole Miss, above Georgia, above Tennessee. But I just above A&M, obviously. I just think that some of the 2-loss teams that they just stack more quality wins. I think they might jump Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to be able to beat Army, but then you beat Army, they're out of the top 25. Just kind of one of those things, right? I don't know. My gut just tells me that, like, if Bama's the SEC champ, they're going to jump Notre Dame, and then would Texas stay at the 7 or still host and be above Notre Dame? So the best thing right now that I think we can all be comfortable with. I hate to go back. What happened on September? Was it 14th?
I don't even know the date.
It's just put yourself in September 14th, right? It's 9:00 at night, 3 bourbons deep. Mike Singer's knocking on the door. Whoa, Mike Singer. What's going on, Mr. Singer? What can I do for you? And I say, hey, Left Twix. Notre Dame's going to run the table. You're like, hell yeah, I'm in. Do we get the playoff? Yes. You're just happy you're getting in the playoff, right?
We'll take the 11th.
We can host. Shit, we can. Yeah, we'll take the 11th seed.
Yeah.
You're telling me we can host? You win out, you're in, and you could get some help and host. That's what we've been saying really forever, right? There was maybe a minute several weeks ago. I was like, I don't know. But now, obviously, you went out. You are definitely in. And it seems like 70% chance they're going to host. So that's the good thing. That's the best thing about this. You're going to get like a Tennessee or an Ole Miss or something like that.
I already told you my prediction. It's Notre Dame, Georgia, 8-9 is going to be the final.
In South Bend. Inject it into my veins. Stick it in there. Let's go. Bring it. Let's go. I don't want Notre Dame to play Indiana or Boise State or BYU or Colorado. I want Notre Dame against one of the big SEC, one of the Big Ten teams.
In December.
I really want SEC. I want one of the SEC teams in cold weather.
You just see how it's being mapped
on a Friday night, Tim.
Mike,
let's go.
It's going. I mean, what's the odd shark odds, right? It's going to be an SEC team. And the whole reason someone's like, how's Bama going to jump us? Because the SEC still has a title game. So those teams directly behind Notre Dame are playing in a title game. So they're going to move up automatically. Yeah. So, and a great point, which is still obviously out there. I think Texas is going to win. I think Texas is a better football team than A&M. I don't think A&M has enough offensive firepower to match with Texas for 60 minutes over a whole course of a game. So that's why I go with Texas. But of course, if A&M wins and A&M is going to the championship game, A&M versus Alabama wins the SEC championship game. A&M is 10-3. How the hell? But once again, I'm one of those guys. If you're in the SEC championship, you're the second best team in the SEC. How are you not in the playoffs?
But you're not. I mean, is A&M the second best team in the SEC?
If they're in the championship game, right? Now they have the easier draw compared to the other teams.
Can you imagine the outrage of an Indiana as one loss? They will be so pissed. One loss, Indiana gets left out against a 3-loss SEC. The SEC bias haters people are just going to be out.
But it's got to come down to, if we're going to be doing these playoffs case in point is today. Perfect case in point is Texas. Texas Notre Dame officially got, hey, we're going to play September, Austin, South Bend. I laugh at that because I'll bet you $5 tonight, Mike. That game never takes place.
What?
So why would it take place? The SEC is going to go to 9 conference games when 2026 comes around. The SEC and Big Ten are in talks about always playing a Big Ten team in preseason. That's 10 power games. Texas is going to take on an 11th, Notre Dame. I'll bet you $5. I'm
They
just saying,
scheduled
remember
the
this.
game.
Timestamp this. Mark with glasses, make a video, timestamp it. That game never takes place. All right,
Okay.
I'll buy you weeks of Taco Bell. But we could be all hyped up today about it.
I'm going to need more than $5 for that.
Inflation's going down, Mike. So there you go. But anyway, hey, do this. I got some more thoughts. Do your
All right, folks, if you're looking for that perfect gift for a special Notre Dame fan in your life, you're going to want to head over to barbstevenson.com. It is the premier destination for spectacular pen and ink limited edition prints of the University of Notre Dame. Each scene is created from a series of photos personally taken by Barb of the most iconic buildings on campus. And what makes every print a unique and one-of-a-kind piece of art is the hand-painted metallic gold accents that Barb adds to each and every one. Let's explore the fabulous selection of prints on our website, barbstevenson.com. Folks watching on YouTube, you see it, and you're going to discover the perfect piece that resonates with your love for Notre Dame, as we always do. I have to remind you guys about the 4 in particular. We have the did I have the long thing popped up on the screen? That's my bad. This is the website. Boom, barbstevenson.com. Lots of different Notre Dame prints you can check out on our website. Again, barbstevenson.com, barbstevenson.com, and then 4 particular prints we're going to look at here on the screen. You got the iconic trio. My personal favorite, you got 3 of the most loved buildings on campus, the Basilica of the Golden Dome and Touchdown Jesus. The second one here, you got the Grotto Spiritual Moments, which is one of the most quiet and serene places on campus, a very popular spot for prayer and meditation, as well as weddings, proposals, and visitors on football weekends. Definitely a favorite spot of mine every time I'm in South Bend. The Golden Dome, world-famous trademark and world-famous landmark, and the most recognizable symbol of the university. And then you also have the shining view of the Golden Dome, another beautiful shot of the Golden Dome. So to purchase or view additional Notre Dame prints, make sure you head to Barb's website, barbstevenson.com. Give her a call. It's been up on the screen this entire time, 574-210-8388. Order now and receive free shipping anywhere in the continental United States. barbstepenson.com or call 574-210-8388. Barb, love you. Thank you for sponsoring this week's show.
Real quick, Mike, after that, the odds just came out for if these games took place. BYU, you want that 5th seed Notre Dame? You really like that 5th seed, don't you? Ohio State, 21-point favorites over BYU. Notre Dame, Alabama, pick 'em. Flip a coin game. It's a pick 'em. People, Penn State, Georgia, because it's probably be a whiteout game, right? Pick 'em. Crazy. Old Miss is 5.5 at Indiana. So those are just your quick odds that came out. So that 5 seed's pretty big, right?
Oh, it's huge. Again, that's why Notre Dame was okay with it, man.
Mike, I was driving over here tonight, and that's literally all I kept thinking about was chilling at practice and doing some signatures and autographs. Was it worth it against NIU? So, oh my God.
Oh, the opportunity. I mean, Notre Dame, dude.
Like the Jerry Seinfeld fan in me always says, even Steven. Had they beat NIU, maybe
they'd be number 2. I think they'd be number 2. I think they would be number 2.
They would be number 2 in this thing. They would have the 5.
Number 2 ranking, and they'd be the number 5 seed. And I'd have to answer questions nonstop about that, why that is. I've been answering this one a lot too. Brian Kelly's accent said, are recruits allowed to attend a playoff game if they were to host? So they can have recruits on campus, but since it's a playoff game, I was told they're not allowed to have, like for the FSU game, right? You have a whole recruit section. Yeah. They can't have a recruit section for a playoff game, so they can host them for like a watch party, but they can't like host them for the game. But I guess if the recruit was on campus and he happened to get a ticket somehow, then I guess he can go, right? But so I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if there's some like NIL thing or I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
know. Yeah,
I don't know how that works.
and I'll
I
chime
don't
in
know.
on that as well. I mean, signing day, Mike's only a couple weeks away, so the
It
only
would be a
recruits,
big thing for 26.
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like.
for 26 recruits and stuff like
But
that.
yes,
Sure.
I,
But
I
I
was
mean,
talking to a source about that, and let me see real quick. Sorry.
yeah, no, I was saying it's not like they're trying to bring Derek Meadows back and try and
So
try and chance for a flip is what I meant. So
okay,
25 would
there
be
could be something for signees, but I mean they're already like signed with the team, so maybe they could go. But I think it could be like the question would be more for 2026 guys.
okay. Set up a watch party inside the damn locker room, right? And come out in the tunnel when the game's nearing the end and have some fun.
Comment here from Irish 365 said the committee will not be afraid to put the finger on the scale. Expect only schools with 70,000 plus stadiums to be 5 ranked. Brother, you think the committee is like making money based on ticket sales? Brother, I
It's
mean,
television, man. They don't
nah,
care.
it's
Yeah, it's
TV and
TV.
all.
They're
I
not
don't
worried
think that
about
matters.
the beer sales and the concessions. It's television.
Would you rather have like the BCS? Would you rather have it be because the AP poll I think was early in the BCS and then they moved off it. So
They use both.
not near the end. I looked
Yeah,
this up recently.
no. I mean, they always use the two. The two polls are always merged together with multiple computers. That's why the Jeff Sagarin, the Cully index, and there's like 3 other computers that were used.
All right. I Googled this. The 2004 season was the last season that the AP polls using the BCS rankings.
Just the AP, but they always used.
I think that was used to coaches.
No, excuse me. I mean, they always use polls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, use polls. Yeah.
Yes.
But not the AP.
Just the AP, exactly.
But anyway, would you rather the BCS do the top 25 each week?
Dude, I'm telling you, the guy just tweeted
Or
out.
it's so similar?
It's the same damn thing. It's
Really?
hilarious.
So I wonder if the committee's in there
The only
deliberating for 4 hours, but they're really just talk about it for 5 minutes, look at the AP or the BCS, and then Taco Bell for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'll yap about this real quick. You got the top 6 are the same. Oregon, Ohio State.
Can you send me this tweet or something?
Yeah. I'll just do it now. Here, hold on. I'll just text it to you. Throw it on. Yeah, it's the same thing except for they have Alabama, Georgia. Notre Dame would be playing Georgia, not Alabama. That's the big difference. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean I started noticing because the guy came on Twitter saying, "Hey, I'm going to be doing the old system and all that," and it's the freaking same thing. So it comes back to what are these guys looking at metrics wise and all these analytics? These guys get so many things.
Is this it, Tim? This account?
Yes. It's fun. Yes. Yeah, they post everything and boom, get the graphics, all that good stuff. Look at that.
Their simulated BCS would have Notre Dame, Georgia.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
And the 8-9. It flips it around, but it's pretty similar. What do you think about? I mentioned this and how interesting it is. Like, okay, if Boise or if Ohio State beats BYU, they play Boise. How interesting is it that the group of 5 is ranked higher right now than the highest Big 12? Like Tim, they have to. Is it 16 next year or is it in 2 years from now?
Well, it's not official, but
it would be 2 years from now.
That's what they're planning. They're saying to go to 14. We're only 1 and 2 get a bye.
I thought it was 16. No,
they keep talking about it, but I think 14 is what they're going to settle on.
This is such a bad system. It is.
Or right? Is the automatic bids,
right? The buys. I don't like this.
That's why when it goes to 14, it'll just be the top 2. It'll be the Big Ten and the SEC getting by everyone else, knocking the hell out of each other. But in that system, Notre Dame could possibly be a 3. So
it's like
that plays. Boise
is either the 4 or the 12. They have no shot at either or anything else. That just doesn't seem right to me. But
they're in. That's all. I mean, they're in, and obviously
they are. But you're either in the worst spot you could be in the first round, or you don't even play in the first round. That doesn't add up.
Yeah, I mean, you have a 3-point loss. You have a ranked win over UNLV. You got a Heisman Trophy finalist. Not too bad. So,
Plans could work, Anissa says, but like I
my God.
would say that's the conference championship game, but really all the conference championship games do, according to Tim, and he might be right, is determine who gets the bye, because if you lose the SEC or Big Ten, you're still sitting pretty, and it doesn't really count against you, which it could be. Tim could be right.
A&M now A&M would be the giant test model of all test models, going in 10-2, beating Texas, obviously whatever other wins they have. Their only loss is South Carolina. Speaking of South Carolina, that is the program that is kicking themselves this year for absolutely pissing away, excuse my French, the LSU and Alabama games. South Carolina is like, are you kidding me? They're right there, right freaking there. But they boat raced A&M. But A&M, with the third loss to Alabama in the championship game, when Alabama would be the number 2 seed, let's say, in this final thing. How about that? How about they were getting ready to fire DeBoer, a month ago, and now he's looking at being the 2 seed when this whole thing ends.
Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Just last thought, I'm getting mixed reactions to my thought on this, and I'm just gonna say this again. I get, you just want Notre Dame to have the easiest path because you can win. I get that, right? You'd love to be in Ohio State shoes to BYU than Boise. I get that for sure. But there's just something about, I want Notre Dame to finally get that freaking marquee postseason win and give it to me right away. Give it to me in Notre Dame Stadium. Give it to me against Bama. Right? Give it to me against Georgia. Let's just do it, man. Just win it. Play with house money. Go play Oregon in a neutral site and see what the hell happens, man. Like this could be such a legendary freaking season. It's been a long time, folks. I want it. I want it.
Yeah, exactly. You're right there. It's like, okay, you're gonna host. I think it's going to be Notre Dame, Georgia in the 8-9 game when it's all said and done. I think that's what's going to happen. You got
Mark, clip it,
Mark.
Mark.
The powerhouses from the last few years, an angry, pissed off team that got left out last year with 1 loss in the SEC championship game, right? Before they lost to Ole Miss, Mike, I think it's 52 straight wins against teams not named Alabama. 52 straight wins. That's insane. So they have somebody easy this week, and then they got Georgia Tech, who they'll go spank up. So Georgia's going to finish 10-2, hanging out right there. Go up to South Bend. Yeah, there's another thing, right? They weren't even in the freaking playoffs a week ago, Georgia. So you can see the anger they took out last week against Tennessee. But no, you're right. It's right there. It's like, all right, here you go, Notre Dame, year 3, Freeman, take it, go kick ass. You got Georgia. You want to make a statement beyond a statement?
Dude.
Go beat the Georgia Bulldogs and then go celebrate the Rose Bowl 100 years later. 1924 game. So
John, I see your super chat. We're going to get to that at the end of the show, brother. Appreciate you.
That's going to be for the Friday preview. I got so much stuff already written up.
There you go. But we'll talk about that near the end.
Forever.
Irish Steel said, so Notre Dame's at 6, still leaves them at the 8th seed, brother. My brother. We have to train ourselves about how the seeding works. It is the 4 highest ranked conference champs get the top 4 seeds, and the seeds are based on your ranking, but there are some automatic things like the 4 highest ranked conference champs, and the conference champs, obviously no one's won a conference yet, but it's the highest ranked conference team, right? So the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, and then BYU, the highest ranked Big 12 team, is ranked below Boise right now. So yes, Notre Dame is the 6th team in the rankings, but the 8th seed. You can Google how does the college football bracket work, and it'll tell you all you need to know.
Yep, the
K Mac, what's up, brother?
four highest conference title champs, no matter where they're ranked.
Yeah, wherever they're ranked, and then the
Oh,
so it's the five highest ranked champs get in, but the 4 highest ranked champs get that bye. So that's why BYU is still in there over SMU, who's ranked higher than them. So
Mike, let's
lovely.
take 12 seconds, and obviously, I don't know if people are in agreement. We'll get comments and things of that nature. Of my prediction: the Big Ten is a lock. I hate to use that word, but I think they got the 5 seed. How in the hell is Penn State for where they're at? I know they're, people don't like it and whatnot, but they're at the 6. How are they gonna drop them multiple spots? You know what I mean? Unless they just are like, screw it, Penn State, you're out now after a month. We're dropping you to 9. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet. Penn State. Their strength of schedule is, where am I at, Tim? They're 35th. They're top 10 in like all these analytics metrics and whatnot. They're going to play 10 Power 4 games at the end of the year. No 1 AA's, like half the SEC, 90% of the SEC plays. So they're playing 12 true games, which is another thing Notre Dame's doing. You got everyone else playing 11 when you take out their FCS games, which never gets freaking talked about by the national media. They're just like, oh yeah, Georgia plays 12. No, they're playing Mercer. That's how the hell does that ever count? Which just freaks me out. You're right. You just got Minnesota. You're right, Doug. If Row the Boat can beat Penn State, that would be awesome. We wouldn't have to talk about this crap. And then you're right. Now Notre Dame could really move up, but I could see Penn State there, which goes back to my prediction of Texas losing the championship game. I think they're going to fall to 7. Notre Dame, Georgia, 8-9. That's going to be my little crystal ball moving forward. That's just what I see.
All right, I did not listen to a single thing you just said. I thought I heard a crying baby. Thought I heard a crying baby, and I texted my wife, and she said no.
That's all right.
So now I am hearing things. I am going crazy, Tim.
And I know we've talked Indiana a bunch. We'll see what happens. I think Ohio State's going to welcome them to college football this year. I think
it is a good point about Penn State because they're not going to play in the conference championship game. They're just not.
No.
They're currently 4th.
Who did they end with?
In the Big Ten, and they finished him with Minnesota on the road this weekend, and then they host Maryland.
Yes.
Their marquee win is
West Virginia.
It's Illinois. It's Illinois.
Yeah. Illinois is ranked. Illinois not.
We're beating SC on the road.
SC in overtime in the road when the refs gave them some bonus points there in the Coliseum. Unreal how they came back to win that thing.
So, but yeah, we talk about were any of the 2-loss SEC jumps to Notre Dame. Well, what about Penn State? What can happen for Penn State to drop other than them lose? So are they just locked in there? It's like they're stealing a spot.
I agree. It goes back to that whole preseason thing.
Why would Texas play Notre Dame? What does Texas gain? What does anyone gain by playing hard schedule? I don't know, man.
I think there's going to be a lot of things. People are reevaluating schedules moving forward.
I've been saying this.
Look at Georgia. Georgia, hold on. Georgia's got 8 SEC. So what do we say about SEC bias or whatever? Georgia's got their 8 conference games. Then they play Georgia Tech, who's a solid middle-of-the-road ACC team, as we know. That's a Notre Dame bonus point this year. They opened neutral site, not really neutral, but it's freaking Atlanta down the road from Athens, against Clemson, who's top 15. So you have 10 power games on their resume. Obviously, they play an FCS and whatever Sunbelt team they play. Hell, I don't even remember. But that's 10 big-time football games they played, and they're getting no respect for that. Sure, they lost. They played like crap, but they demolished number 1 Texas, came back and took the lead against freaking Alabama until the freshman goes nuts at the end for Alabama. And then obviously they played like crap against Ole Miss. They come back and boat race, kind of take care of business against Tennessee. Those kind of washed each other out. So if anyone's sitting there pissed off, it's Georgia. So Notre Dame's going to be playing a pissed off, angry Georgia team in South Bend. So which is going to be
against
awesome.
A quarterback who throws a lot of picks. Man.
As long as he doesn't, as long as he doesn't look like he did against Tennessee, throwing for what, over 300, couple touchdowns. So yeah, he looked like a true first round pick finally in that game. So,
folks, let's talk about Game Time, a fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, and theater near you with killer last-minute ticket deals, so you can just relax and get hyped for the fun you're going to have at that event. The website's super easy to manage. The app is great as well. Game Time has awesome features like Game Time Picks, which makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You also have the all-in pricing. When you toggle that on, it will show the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. You can also get seat views or panoramic seat views in the app, so you can see exactly what your view will be like before you purchase. And you can also get the lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use the promo code ON3 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, folks. Again, create an account, redeem code ON3 for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Okay, so as we've talked about, this projected playoff bracket is if it happened today. But what some of these guys are doing is predicting what it will be like after this weekend, after the November 30th weekend, right? After conference championship weekend. What will it look like then? So here's what Andy Staples put together. He's got Oregon winning the Big Ten, Alabama winning the SEC, Miami winning the ACC, Colorado winning the Big 12. He's got Ohio State in the 5. He's got Georgia in the 6. Ole Miss in the 7. Notre Dame hosting Penn State in the 8-9. Tennessee in the 10. Indiana with a loss to Ohio State, sticking in the playoff 10 at 11. Boise at 12. Is it obvious to you who would be that SEC runner-up based on this ranking?
Yeah, the SEC runner-up, you just go the next highest one is going to be
Ole Miss.
Georgia,
yes. So is there a path for those two teams to play?
No. So what Andy did, I listened to his podcast with Ari.
Nice.
He's predicting A&M to win. So he's the opposite of my.
Oh, so he's got A&M beating Texas.
So he's got A&M beating Texas. Texas is going to be 10-2. Texas will go against the whiteboard with the other two lost teams. And then what the hell have you done, Texas? You've played really two ranked teams and lost to both of them, and A&M and.
But then he has a 3-loss A&M not getting in.
He has a 3. He doesn't think a 3-loss A&M gets in because he's comparing now wins.
Okay, so that's what I meant. He doesn't have the SEC championship runner-up, right?
No, that's his big controversy. He thinks the 3-loss will get out over Tennessee, which he thinks their win. He's going with the Tennessee win over Alabama is bigger than A&M's win over Texas. That's what he was talking
Interesting.
about.
Okay.
I was like, okay, makes sense.
So sign me up for this.
But then there's the Penn State scenario dropping from the 6th seed.
That's hard to see, right?
That is so damn hard to see in a committee with all these suits hanging out.
So he's got Ole Miss. I will say he did this on Sunday.
Yeah.
So this was 2 days ago. So he doesn't have like
he's stuck with
the context of what the committee thinks right now. Because he's got how's Ole Miss going to jump to the 7?
He's going wins. He's going.
Ole Miss is. They just got Florida and State right now. They're ranked. Right.
He's just going that big win over Georgia.
It's 9.
That's his. He's got that big.
So they're going to get to the 7th seed.
Even though when you look at all these teams, their loss to Kentucky is just absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Kentucky's looking to go 4-8 finish. 4-8. And obviously LSU, the Fighting Brian Kellys, are looking to finish 6-6 possibly. They can't handle Clark Lee this week.
So this one's interesting. I don't know how. I don't think this is difficult to do. This is very difficult, but that doesn't mean you can't have a bad one. This one
Now what's
This is Bud Elliott of 24/7 Sports.
Okay.
This is his projection heading into week 13. He put this out yesterday.
Okay. Now
Okay, so he's got Oregon, Bama, Miami, Colorado in the top 4, same as Andy Staples. He's got Ohio State in the 5. We all agree on that. Penn State in the 6. No problems with that.
Yeah.
A&M at 7. Okay, we'll talk about that. Ole Miss, Notre Dame in the 8-9. Okay. Indiana 10. So Bud very much appreciates if you lose in the conference championship game, you're still in, because he's got Indiana at the 10, Georgia in the 11, Boise in the 12. The biggest problem here is A&M. He's got a 3-loss because he doesn't have Texas in here. So he's saying Texas is going to lose to A&M, so they're done. Mm-hmm. He's got A&M playing in the SEC championship game, losing to Bama, and a 3-loss A&M is going to be ranked higher than a 1-loss Notre Dame that beat Texas A&M at Texas A&M.
No, it's my scenario with Texas as the 7. That's, when I looked at this, I was like, oh man, that's just, I have Texas at the 7 in my final prediction if I had to do one. He's going A&M. I read some of his Twitter battles with people. He's just saying, you know what? They're in the conference championship game. He's ranking that. He's just given a lot of points for playing Alabama in the conference title game.
So Greg Flamong, love Greg. He responded, A&M with 3 losses ahead of 11-1 Notre Dame, who they lost to. It's not a big disagreement. Just curious as why. Bud says, just don't think the Irish have much depth in terms of win quality. And Indy lost at home to NIU, 100%. But the win quality, okay, he threw in depth there because he knows Notre Dame beat A&M, but that's just bad, brother. Like, you have to weigh these things. That's like, all right, 1 loss versus 3 losses. But the 1 loss was to NIU, so we can call that 1.5 or even 2 losses.
Sure.
But you still beat that team. This is.
You got to remember, he's a Florida State alum, so his math is from 1993. He's a 1993 mather, meaning Florida State loses to Notre Dame, Florida State wins the title. So that's his. You got to remember, that's his math skills. He thinks 1993 math is legitimate, which is ridiculous, but that's just his thoughts right there. But I started thinking real quick about some of these guys on Twitter because there's everyone likes to bash Notre Dame. It's fine. It's because they're Notre Dame and you can say what you want. You mention Notre Dame, you're getting reactions. Someone's clicking your article. It just is. Notre Dame is Notre Dame when it comes to the media. But it's like Notre Dame is one of, I know Miami, and there's only like one other school, I believe, that's playing 6 road games. So Notre Dame is on the road 6 times this year. A&M's 4, for a little context there. So 6, obviously with the neutral sites, it's still road. You're traveling. And then I was like, who in the hell in the country is starting? Who started on the road, a true road game against a top 20 football team this year? Who did that? Georgia Clemson played in a neutral site 30 minutes away from where Athens is, right? Athens to the stadium's right down the road. And, and if there's someone out there, I'm not sure, who played in a true road environment. And then you got, who in the damn country is traveling 3 miles apart, going to New York, South Bend to Los Angeles over a 7-day schedule, an 8-day schedule, when you're leaving Friday to Friday, so to speak. And it's just like, no one ever looks at that crap. People just say, well, Notre Dame plays Army Navy. Mike, I'm going to post this stuff on Twitter. There's so many SEC schools that have never played Army Navy. So it's like, you refuse to play those guys because they're going to play your ass off for 60 minutes. So it's kind of annoying. But, Notre Dame's got a lot of positives when you break everything down. You go 11-1 with the travel that they do. No one in the freaking country travels like Notre Dame. So yeah. It's kind of, obviously some of these Big Ten teams are, don't get me wrong, but it's kind of ridiculous. everyone knows the SEC doesn't leave their freaking area. Alabama going to play Wisconsin this year is a rarity. So that's just my little soapbox for 5 seconds to be positive with Notre Dame, and that's why it's going to be nice. I mean, they're going to get a freaking home game, so that's the positive.
Yeah, what's funny is I told you this morning, I was like, we're not going to talk about the playoff for an hour. We got close. We could have.
Mike, I told you there's nothing else to talk about. We'll worry about the
Well,
other
Tim, what about the person who says on Twitter, all that matters is beating Army and then USC. We'll figure out the playoff when we get there.
We're almost there.
All right, true. Fair enough. But damn it, I don't play for the football team, so I can talk about it.
No, but it's fun.
But Army,
it's fun.
Army and USC, this will be 2 quality wins. I mean, they will be. Army's the number 19 team in the country right now.
Yeah.
So the committee thinks highly of them. So
and even
beat them and then at USC, dude.
Yeah, let me pause you there, because if they beat Army, they drop out, but Army comes right back, beats Tulane. I think whoever they're playing, it could be Tulane. I'm not sure if in the conference championship game, Army could easily be right back in the damn picture at 11-1 because Navy won't count because Navy will be after the final rankings. So I believe that's how the schedule is, right, with the Army Navy game. So Army could easily be finished 25th in the final rankings, and Notre Dame has 2 wins in there, which a lot of teams don't have. So it's a big year for Army, and obviously SC. I mean, they've had meltdown and a half, but it's still the freaking Coliseum. All anyone has to do is Google SC Notre Dame rivalry. If you don't know, a hell of a lot of bad memories in the Coliseum for the Irish over the last 50 years. So that's never easy to win. So, but you're right. I mean, you go on the road. That's 2 road games. Who the hell's doing that in the country? Hell, half the SEC played their FCS buddies last week. The other half are doing it this week. So that's what pisses me off sometimes with these schedules.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much it, Tim. That's pretty much it. So again, folks, Notre Dame looking very promising to host a college football playoff game. And I think it's pretty damn likely they will be 7 I think they're going to be 8. 7 is the highest they would get to. 9 is the lowest if they went out. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it.
And if it's 7, and if it's 8, 9. I mean, if it's my scenario, I said 8, 9 would be them in Georgia. If it's 7, 10, shit, it may be 7, 10. No, Georgia beat Texas, so Texas would see. That would mean Texas. Yeah, maybe Texas is the 8, 9 game, and then
here's the beauty of some of this, Tim.
Freaking nuts.
Is you do have when we talk about this, we really assume that like Penn State is going to beat Maryland and Minnesota.
No,
you can't have more chaos. Who thought Alabama was going to lose to freaking Vanderbilt, and Notre Dame lose to NIU? So there is Ole Miss lose to Kentucky. So who knows? Maybe they could get up to 6. Like there could be chaos. Indiana could, lose multiple games and they're done, right? I mean, they got Michigan and Ohio State. There's a lot of different scenarios that can happen here. So
that's funny. Real quick on that. There's a guy I need to find the tweet. He's been posting it every single week week this season. There has been a double digit, like massive, someone in the top 20 has lost as being, 18 plus point favorites or something. So you're right. Every single damn weekend it's happening. So
last week there was a lot of upsets. I feel like
insane.
BYU lost.
You got Penn State. You said host, right? Host Maryland. I think you said host. Yes. So the odds of them losing would be that would be a shocker and a half, right? But you don't know sometimes with Penn State.
Minnesota. I don't know. Who knows?
Row the damn boat, baby, and get hyped and go PJ Fleck. Hey, they had a great game in 2019. That was like a top 10 battle. So that would be great if Minnesota could pull that off. But there's still some crazy. I mean, you got the freaking Iron Bowl, right? That's the ultimate throw the damn records out. even though I think we all are anti-Auburn fans, so everyone, I'll be okay if Alabama kicks the hell out of them, so I'll be cool with that.
All right. All right. All right. Well, Tim, we're going to end the show there. Hopefully my internet is doing okay. Tim texted me that my internet was kind of cutting in and out. I got new internet and I don't like it. But different story for a different day. Tim, we're going to end the show there. Great show. If you are just tuning in, hit that rewind. Watch us from the beginning of the show. We reacted very soon after the playoff rankings were released. So hit the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. If you're listening via podcast, appreciate you as well. Leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast. We will be back live, Tim and I, on Saturday after the Notre Dame Army game, late night. Looking forward to that one. And then in terms of other shows this week, I don't know if Sobel and Horka are going live tomorrow night. Their schedule gets kind of wonky when it gets into basketball season because they're going to basketball games in South Bend. But Kyle and I will be live Thursday morning. Tim, signing day, 15 days away.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I knew it changed. I forget the date. It's like that
December
first week.
4th.
Yeah, the first week of December.
I think they moved it. I can't remember if it's a permanent thing or what it is, but I think they moved it up due to the portal or
it's the portal. You're right, the portal. Which is a quick little tidbit on the portal I learned.
Yeah.
Is if you're a playoff team, and as soon as you lose, your players have, I think, 5 days to enter. 5 days to enter as soon as you lose. So there's that open window for your players to leave, which is like, that's going to be wild with some of these schools. Are they going to want to wait? Are some players at the bottom going to just hit it right away? Are they, because that's the other thing. If you're on a program and you're transferring, as we know, all these schools start in the middle of January, right? So some of these guys are probably going to win. The portal is going to be insane this year. Seriously, trying to play in the playoffs, the bowl games. We could talk about minor bowls another night, but seriously, how drained are some of those teams going to be come bowl season?
Pop-Tart, sponsor us, okay? We love you. Tony the Tiger, get some Frosted Flakes. I'll remove this little shamrock here. Just put some Frosted Flakes right here behind me. How about that?
I love that.
How about that? So
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Right.
It's awesome. I love it. College football has been a blast this year. It is so damn much fun with this new playoff. So I enjoy the hell out of this thing.
All right, folks. Appreciate you guys for watching. As always, we will catch you next time. Below taper fade beam's massive.